Hey everybody, and welcome to the Healing Word. This is the first of many Bible studies that last about 3 or 4 minutes. The idea is to just hopefully plant a seed or encourage you or inspire you in some way that'll help you during your week. And you should receive a couple of these each week. I want to start today by looking at a passage in Colossians chapter 1, verse 10. And in it, Paul is trying to encourage the church in Colossae and to give thanks for them, because God is doing all kinds of wonderful things in their midst, and they're just doing beautifully with the gifts and the way that they're growing and all that they're doing. Paul wants to commend them. And then he says these words to them: I'm doing this so that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and please him in every way, bearing fruit in every good work, growing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience. It seems like the end game Paul is talking about, receiving the power of God, this dynamic power from God through the Holy Spirit that fills us, is to get us to reach a point of endurance and patience. Endurance and patience aren't like super exciting things that we reach. It seems like there should be something else he should throw in there. But he is saying that endurance, and this word endurance is such an important word because in the Greek it's hupo, which means under, and then the word pomene, which means to remain. And it's a great word because remaining under whatever challenges or whatever circumstances that you're in. We want to just unload all that stuff and get free of everything and go our own way. And yet the Lord seems to say, at least in this word, is that part of the success and part of the joy and this idea of how they're prospering in the Spirit is because they're remaining under the circumstances and challenges they find themselves in. I think it's a really important idea that somehow pressure that we're under, the pressure of life and relationships and work and health and all these things and children and all of that, and time together, pressure and time together, by grace create a kind of person that reflects the glory of God. And that's what he's saying, that you'll be reflecting the glory of God. The word he says, by his glorious might in you, that you may have great endurance. His glorious might, his power will be reflected in you as you remain under those circumstances. Now, again, I'm not talking about hurtful circumstances in the sense of that cause you serious injury or you're being abused or something. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the life circumstances that we find ourselves in. And sometimes people who long to be free of this obligation or this responsibility or that problem, that all their problems will be solved if they just do that. Paul seems to be saying that something is happening under pressure. And what's happening under pressure is we're being transformed into the image and likeness of Jesus Christ. Very much like if you go into a coal mine and you dig long enough and you dig it in the right place, you're going to find that there's a rock in there that's been under pressure for a long, long period of time. And in that time and that intense pressure over long, long periods of time, a diamond is able to be made under that kind of pressure out of this rock, out of this coal. And that's a pretty incredible thing, because the diamond is the most valuable and beautiful of all the stones, and it reflects in a multifaceted way the light that pours into it. That's exactly what we're called to be. And the only thing that gets us there is not by our own effort, not by our own trying to fix our own circumstances. The thing that gets us there, according to Paul, seems to be this thing called remaining under those circumstances by the grace of God and with God and the power of God, so that we might shine for Christ as well. And so I'm praying for endurance for all of us, just as Paul prayed. We'll see you next time.